Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, seeing that we've already covered this in our last lesson, but we had to readjust, and I did ask you to read through page 39 and 40 because we've already covered those. Please, if you have missed out on the previous lessons, catch up, ask me for the recordings, or else you're going to have a big missing link, and it's going to, of course, affect everything else that we're going to be relying on. Qiyas is divided into Iqtirā'ī and Istithnā'ī. Iqtirā'ī we have explained, right? And we've used the English word conjunctive for Iqtirā'ī. And then the other type of syllogism is Istithnā'ī, and we are going to use hypothetical as the equivalent for that. Of course, I didn't find these, I didn't just choose these terms randomly. I found them to be mentioned in other logic books. Okay, so one is conjunctive and the other one is hypothetical, Istithnā'ī, hypothetical syllogism. Then with Istithnā'ī, it is further divided into muttasil and munfasil, connected and disconnected, right? So let's read through them and let's understand what this is all about. Haj Mustafa, please.
Hypothetical Istithnā'ī syllogism. As previously mentioned in the beginning of this chapter, syllogism is divided into two kinds: conjunctive, Iqtirā'ī, which has been explained. The second is hypothetical Istithnā'ī, and it is that its conclusion or its opposite is actually mentioned in one of the two premises.
So, the conclusion or the opposite of the conclusion is mentioned in either the minor premise or the major premise. That's basically what Istithnā'ī means. Carry on.
This does not mean that the conclusion or its opposite is mentioned in it as an independent premise, because this meaning is begging the question.
Yeah.
al-Matlūb.
Okay. So, if you have something that is already being explained and you are in need of having to somehow say it implicitly again, then this, of course, is pointless and useless, which is what this expression means. It is saying that the conclusion is not independently mentioned in itself in one of the premises, because if that was the case, then why are we going around and doing circles? And that would mean that it is musadara ala al-matlūb. Musadara ala al-matlūb is a logical, philosophical, sometimes even jurisprudential expression, which you can read its explanation in the footnotes. Haj Mustafa, can you read it, please?
So this means
Begging the question. That's what it is in English. Carry on. Yes.
Okay, the footnote says this means.
No, read the Latin. Petitio princip.
principio principii.
Yeah.
This means it is assuming the initial point. It relies on an implicit premise within itself to establish the truth of that same proposition.
Yeah.
In other words, it is a statement that refers to its own assertion to prove the assertion.
Yeah. So doing a circle, what's the point doing that? Yeah.
Such arguments are essentially of the form A is true because A is true, though rarely is such an argument stated as such. Often the premise A is only one of many premises that go into proving that A is true as a conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that clear? Okay. So in Arabic they call it musadara ala al-matlub, begging the question. Right? Everyone understands that? Yes? Has anyone heard that expression before, begging the question? Okay. Carry on.
This does not mean that the conclusion
Rather,
what is meant is the existence of a conclusion or its opposite in one of the two premises, in it being a part of one of the two.
yeah. So basically it means that the conclusion is entailed within one, or its opposite is entailed within one of the two muqaddimats, one of the two premises. Carry on.
This is why it is necessary for the premise to include in the conclusion or its opposite in having a conditional proposition.
Right.
This kind of syllogism is divided into two kinds, connected and separated. Connected hypothetical syllogism.
Yes.
A hypothetical syllogism where one of its two premises is necessarily connected conditional proposition, meaning between its two sides there is a necessary relation, as has been previously explained. The necessary relationship is within the frame of causality, meaning that between the cause and the effect, or two effects, one cause. The necessary could be equal to the necessitated, or one more general than it. Therefore, there must be the existence of the necessary with the existence of the necessitated. Furthermore, the necessary is not more specific than the necessitated. From the necessary that is more specific to be separated.
Yeah. Assassination. Lazim or malzoom. Lazim, malzoom. This is what we say. Lazim and malzoom. The lazim is the necessary, and the mazloom, and the malzoom is the necessitated, right? Which basically it is saying that if you have one, then you are going to have by necessity the other. The malzoom means the product of the lazim, right? Basically that is what it means. Okay? So, sometimes they are equal, sometimes one is more am and general than the other. The necessary could be equal, the lazim could be equal to the malzoom, or the lazim could be more general than the malzoom. Yani the lazim is more am and the malzoom is more akhas. Okay? See how it sounds better when you say it in the original Arabic terms than when you're saying it in the English, because we are more familiar with these, if we could say, Islamic terminology, right? Yeah. Okay.
So So the problem is the translation.
Yeah,
Translator?
yeah. It does need editing, of course.
But it was by
Yeah.
Salah, and Salah.
100% Hajj Ali Lali came up with that. 100%. Carry on.
Based on the method of the relation between the two.
Furthermore,
We can go back. Furthermore, the necessary is not more specific than the necessitated.
necessitated. Why are you saying necessitated for? Okay.
You know what? Furthermore,
The lazim can never be more akhas than the malzoom. The lazim can never be more akhas than the malzoom.
because the lazim that is more specific can be separated from its malzoom in some cases. Hence, it does not always become lazim.
Very good. Very good. That's right. Based on the
Based on the method of the relation between the two necessaries in equality or not, the ruling of necessary differs.
yes. So there is going to be a difference in the ruling of the talazum, right? Talazum, based on the nisbah happening between the lazim and the malzoom. Hessa, when we give examples, you will understand it more. Okay, when we give examples, you'll understand it more. Carry on.
Okay, one, if the relation between the two is equal, so each of the two exists with the existence of its partner, and is negated with the negation of its partner, like the sun rising and the presence of daytime.
So, if the sun rises, it will be daytime. That's the minor premise. What's the major premise? The sun has risen. The natija is, therefore it is daytime. Right? So you know what luzum means? You know what the talazum is here now? You know what it is here? Because the relation between sun rising and daytime is equal. Right? The talazum here is the nisbah. The relation in the necessitation is, in the talazum, is equal. Carry on.
2. If the necessary is more general than the malzoom, like heat and fire, thus the more specific exists, which is fire. The more general will exist, which is heat.
Why is heat more general than fire?
You can have heat without fire.
Thank you. You can have heat through other means. Like what? Friction. Conduction. What? What's that?
Like the magnetic one, where if you put your hand on, you won't burn. But if you put your
All right. Well, why didn't we just say friction? Wouldn't that have been? Friction is not heat.
Sorry?
Is it like that big?
So, thank you. So, which one is the am heat? Which one is the akhas fire? Right? So this is different to example number 1. Right? Carry on.
And if the general is negated, the specific
Is no longer going to be there. is no longer going to be there. The specific is going to be negated.
Like the fire.
Yeah,
If there's no heat, then there's definitely no fire.
yeah. Because you cannot have fire without heat naturally. We just said that, like, we're talking about conduction and induction and friction. Nonetheless, ADSL.
If the general exists, this does not necessitate the existence
Of the
specific.
of the khas. Yes.
And if the specific is negated, it doesn't mean that the general is negated.
Yes.
Because of the possibility of the existence of the general with the cause of other than the specific.
So you can remove fire, but that won't remove heat. You can have heat and not have fire, but you cannot remove heat and have fire. You cannot remove heat and have fire. You can remove the khas and the am stays, but you cannot remove the am and the khas stays. Carry on.
Therefore, the general laws of necessary are the following. Number one, if the mulazim exists,
If the malzoom,
if the malzoom exists, the lazim exists.
yes,
The existence of the lazim does not necessitate the existence of the malzoom.
yes,
If the lazim is negated, the malzoom is negated.
yes.
The negation of the malzoom does not necessitate the
Then-
negation of the lazim.
Okay, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.